Jake Giffin Podcast.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Aggarwal.
Aggarwal. Okay. I could have probably guessed. I guess pretty good at your first name, and so I didn't want to, you know,
No.
I didn't want to gamble too hard. I don't know how to. Yeah. But you are a fascinating guy. I ran into you, and I read some of your stuff. I find it fascinating. So many folks come here from India, Middle East, and they dominate, man. You've done so well in your career. How long have you been in the States now?
I'm actually in Canada, which is...
Oh, okay, in Canada.
Funny enough.
I knew that, but I knew that. I was testing you.
51st state now. So, but anyway, I've been here since 1998, so that's like 27 years now.
Okay. What was the reason for leaving India?
As you do, follow a girl,
Right. Just like that, huh?
Yeah.
Did you end up marrying her?
Yes, I was married. I was married for 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a good run.
Yeah, as they do.
Yeah, 25 years is pretty decent these days.
Yeah. I read somewhere, was it when you were in India or when you got to Canada where you read the book on technology or coding?
No, I actually got into software and technology back in India, and that's how sort of my life started shifting. So this was 1996, around that time, and computers were so new. We didn't have an internet. Are we now recording now, or
We're going.
Yeah. So what happened was, I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. I wanted to get out of that small town and like experience life. And computers were very new. Internet, we didn't have internet in our small town. So we had like these floppy disks. We used to write programs and then copy it on a floppy disk and then take the floppy disk to another computer, copy it there. And so that's how it used to work. It was so much fun that I said, okay, this is something that I enjoy because I'm an introvert, and being an introvert, I didn't like talking to people. So talking to machines is like, okay, you give them a command, they obey you, they do exactly what you ask them to do.
Yeah.
And then you get to do it again because you just need to copy that code over. And so that was my journey, and I got deeper and deeper and deeper into it. So here we are.
Here we are. Now you're the Chief Innovation Officer at Terra Noodle Technologies. Now you founded that company?
Yes, Tetra Noodle. Yeah, that's right.
Tetra Noodle. What are you guys doing over there?
So, everybody wants to adopt AI. Everybody's talking about AI, but most people don't understand this AI thing is a miles deep ocean, okay? Thousands of miles deep ocean. And people are just like sort of, scratching the surface. Okay, I wrote my social media post with it. I wrote, a nice business plan with it, nice email with it. But that's just scratching the surface. Imagine finding solutions to your life problems. Imagine finding, ways to create generational wealth, connect with your teenagers, finding cure to cancer. So these are some big challenges that can be solved easily with AI. Not only that, but actually a lot of these things are already underway. So the big question becomes in 5-10 years, not to scare anybody, but there's going to be a huge change in our society.
That's a fact.
Yeah, there's going to be like some unemployment, some short-term pain. So if you ask anybody you meet today, they say, okay, tell me, introduce yourself, who you are. The first or second sentence will be, okay, I'm, Chief Innovation Officer. I'm Deputy Manager. I'm blah, blah, blah. Like my identity is tied to the work that I do. My purpose in life is to, it's tied to my profession. That's how society is today. But imagine if 80% of the work is done by robots and AI, what identity will you have? What purpose will you have in life?
Yeah.
So these are big questions that we work on, how to help people find their true identity, find their true purpose, find more creativity, more expression in their life as automation will take over the entire world.
So you're doing that at Tetranoodle to help. So while you're working on AI, while you're doing all these, and your AI or what you're working on now are projects that are going to help people recalibrate a bit to this new society that's coming, because it is going to be revolutionary, right? It's not. We don't even know the magnitude of the impact it's going to have. We just know it's going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just know it's going to be crazy. And
exactly.
And so you're building stuff that's going to help, let's say, a guy like me go, okay, now that you're not an entrepreneur anymore because all the robots have taken over, who are you really?
Yeah.
So the AI
not only
is going to
that,
teach me?
but entrepreneurship is actually not going to go away. Entrepreneurship is actually going to become the mainstream profession.
Mm-hmm.
But now so let me give you a simple example, right? Like think about primitive human beings. They saw, there's another piece of land across the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and probably there's more food there, more animals. How do I go there and find more opportunities?
Okay.
And you need a bridge, you need to build a boat, you need to figure out how to cross this ocean.
Right.
So you need to work with somebody who knows swimming, who probably has some knowledge of deep diving, some knowledge of how boats work, or something along those lines. And if you go to an advanced level, how to build bridges and all of that. So that's what we are doing. We are creating these bridges for anybody like you. And you say, okay, this is my business today. And I can tell you, but just by looking at your business, okay, what will it be like in 5 years, in 10 years? And then build a ramp, build a plan, build a bridge from here, where you are today, to 5 years, 10 years, and whatnot.
Yeah. Are you projecting out? I mean, are you able to project out beyond 5 years with technology? What's going to happen?
Nothing can be projected out. You know, as humans, mistakes, all of this can be, like, you can mold them in the way that you want to mold them, but nobody truly knows what the future holds. But all you can do is, I can rely on my 30 years of experience. I can rely on my experience of business, about my knowledge of human beings, my knowledge of how these algorithms work, what will the world look like, and just make a better decision than most people can. So, yeah.
Well, and you have, when you look at the history of mankind, and you have, a lot of things, we've always adapted, right? It's like you said, we have to get across the ocean. How do you get across the ocean? You might observe a leaf that is floating on the water, and you go, oh, how can we float on the water? How can we navigate? And like, necessity is the mother of invention, right? But
correct, exactly.
But these guys have, when time is running slow, they have a long time to carve out a tree, test it on the water, figure out buoyancy science or whatever they're doing, right? To get across the water and then explore. They have a generation or two that they can do that. The way that we're facing the future right now is that those changes are just they're happening. Like my mom or my grandparents worked at the same place for 40 years. They worked in factories, or they had the same career. The generation now is changing careers 5 or 6 times in, let's say, Gen X and other places, other generations, millennials. Moving into the future, it's when AI has everything, change is going to happen like lightning fast. Is that what we're kind of anticipating coming, and how to help people?
Yes and no, because I believe, this is my personal opinion, we change careers because we don't know exactly what we want in life, and we notice other people having more fun, having more money, having more success, whatever we desire. And then we say, oh, you know what, like, I'm bored doing this thing, so let me try something else now. Okay. And moving forward, my work specifically involves not just doing this hit and trial, because hit and trial was needed when, we didn't know exactly what we wanted. We didn't know how to get there. But now imagine within 1 or 2 hours, you know exactly why you are here on this planet.
Yeah.
What is your life purpose? You know, why are you going through life? What made you appear on this planet? And then once you have that purpose, every decision you make, every decision for partnership, for, you know, building a business, for investing your money, where to earn money, how to earn money, who is going to help you, all of this.
Yeah.
AI can truly help you like a guide, as a personal friend and mentor, or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Every decision is made towards that goal. Okay? Imagine how powerful that will be, because now you are not second guessing life at every moment. Every day you wake up, it's like, I don't know what the hell am I doing. It's like, okay, now exactly I know what I'm doing, and this is how I'm going to get it done. And this is where technology is helping me. And you know, you do this day in, day out, and you truly find fulfillment in life. You know, that's the whole idea.
Yeah, and you have, so it's like you're going to have this super powerful personal assistant that can help you navigate some of the most complex things that you can possibly navigate. And I always tell the young guys that listen to this podcast, I go, look, you guys should be the most intelligent people that's ever walked the planet. You have information at your fingertips. There's nothing you can't learn how to do, right? With AI, though, we're going to kind of subcontract that out. And then they're going to give us, let's say, a step-by-step, or they're going to give us guidance. It's going to say, here's what to do.
Less so, because I think what we will, as humans, AI cannot do is observe the world and understand what other humans need. Okay? Because if you see any science fiction or Star Trek, whatever, Star Wars, anything, all the work is done by machines, but the humans are observing the world and saying, okay, you know what, like these are the levers we need to pull. These are the moves we need to make. This is what other humans want. That's what in entrepreneurship and business is all about, to understand what other people want. And that AI cannot do.
Yet.
Not yet, never. It will never be able to do, because the thing is desire, emotion, creativity, jealousy. These are deep emotions that are innately human, and there is no algorithm that can create emotions. There is nothing like that.
Fair enough, but when you imagine a world that is, let's say you have this technological singularity of sorts, where you have AI and you have quantum computing. I mean, if you had, let's say, a quantum computer that was running, I don't know, 1 million qubits or something, which is still way far off. Does it need emotion to realize that you don't have a reason to be here?
Here is the thing, so I obviously have 3 decades of experience in technology, AI, and that, but also I have a very deep meditation practice. So I understand consciousness at a very deep level. So when I hear these kind of arguments that, if you have a most powerful machine, and then, you know, you really need to truly understand what human consciousness is, what emotions are.
Okay.
Computation can mimic stuff. It can mimic language.
Sure.
It cannot mimic your soul, your heart. There is no way to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe it can mimic it so closely that it's indistinguishable from the real world. So let's say if you watch a movie in IMAX with surround sound and all of that, or this new place that has opened up in Vegas, like it's a dome. It's called I think it's called Globe or something. Sphere, yeah, something like that. So it's massive, and then they play these realistic movies. Now, they look so real that you can imagine, your senses say, oh, you are in the real scene right now.
You're immersed in it.
Momentarily, you can enjoy that. Your mind, it cannot be tricked forever. So the reality is different. Now you can choose to live in that environment 24/7 and say, okay, I'm going to live in a simulated life. That's perfectly okay. But the reality will never be exactly the same.
I mean, you wouldn't get a judgment from me if that's what you wanted to do, but kind of what we experience. And I know Canada is a beautiful place. I'm currently in Southern California, so it's, I mean, you know, the idea of plugging into a pod, or, you know, I imagine at some point technology kind of will merge with, let's say, what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink, and create some kind of matrix-like plug-in where, you know, it's ultra realistic, and if you're in there too long, you might forget that this exists, you know, something like that. But when you're thinking about moving people into the future, because you're checking buoyancy on the water, you're observing the floating leaf kind of thing, and you're plotting this bridge to get from here to there. What's scaring you? What scares you the most?
First of all, we have observed the leaf, we have observed the buoyancy, we have built the bridges. People are already crossing over, by the way. So it's not like, oh, science fiction or something.
Right.
We
No,
are
I
already
believe
doing it. The scariest thing is that people are still, you know, we have been conditioned for centuries and centuries and centuries to think logically. Logical mind, it rules the world today. But people don't know the rug is going to be like pulled out of their feet, because logic will not be the realm of humans anymore. We will not be able to compete in terms of thinking and solution building, thinking of solutions with the machines. Today, ChatGPT or any other AI platform today, they have a IQ of about 150. That puts them in a genius realm, okay?
Yeah.
Einstein had an IQ of 170.
Yeah.
All right. I just came back speaking at Mensa Foundation, which is like, you know, the top 2% IQ geniuses. So they only accept people above 135 in their organization. And average IQ on this planet is 90.
Right.
Okay. So I'm giving you this context. By the end of this year, ChatGPT 5 is expected to come out any day. Any AI platform by the end of this year is expected to have an IQ of around 1,000.
What? That's crazy. And it's maturing exponentially, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exponentially. Yeah.
So whereas like say 6 months or a year ago, I think it was maturing 14 years every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's going to be like, now it's maturing 30 years every day, 100 years every day.
Yeah.
What happens when you add in super or quantum computing to that and ignite it? Is that brutal?
And now can you imagine your life without the internet?
No, I can't.
So this is how.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. You know, this is how technology becomes part of your life and you become habitual to it.
I couldn't wait. And now that I have it, like I can't live without it.
Yeah.
But then there's a part of me that resents it a little bit.
Exactly. That's the human experience. That is always the human experience. We always create solutions to problems which create more, those solutions create more problems, and then we continue. That is part of evolution. You know, this is who we are.
What's the next phase of evolution? When, let's say, like in your world where you're thinking 5-10 years ahead, what's 10 years from now look like?
Well, I think, we are sort of getting into the world of a fusion of technology with the humans. You know, we already have prosthetic limbs and things like that. The only thing that was outside the realm of technology was our cognitive thinking processes. With AI, that is also now, this is the first time in human history that a technology is able to replicate cognition.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only natural path forward here is merging the human mind and body with technology. So there's going to be cyborgs or partial human, partial machine.
Yeah.
These type of scenarios which were science fiction, these are going to be commonplace now.
Yeah. And so after like Neuralink makes it through human trials, and I'm not sure if
I don't agree. I don't agree with Neuralink. Again,
okay.
See, my practices are more about truly understanding what consciousness is. So consciousness in a Western medicine world or scientific world, people say, oh, consciousness is produced by our brain. But when you read ancient wisdom, from the East, from the Greeks, from Chinese, Indians, indigenous people of North America, consciousness is the universe. That's everything. And we are just tiny, radio antennas catching a little signal of that consciousness.
Yeah.
So when you flip that thinking on that aspect, putting a chip in your brain is not going to make you intelligent. It's just going to catch the same signal that the brain is catching, probably a little bit more, but nothing. So in my opinion, these practices of figuring out what is the mind doing and adding chips to it, I think that's going to fail spectacularly. It's more about really truly understanding what a human being is, what our mind is, not brain, what our mind is, and then enhancing that with the technology.
Yeah, I think I think what you're thinking about is the most beautiful part of the technology that's emerging. It's the getting back. If it's a getting back to it all, it's getting back to understanding yourself, getting grounded, doing beautiful things again, rather than, let's say here in Southern California, if you stop for a moment, the economy, the competition, anything you can imagine comes and swallows you up. Right? So it's like there's a beautiful part of what you're talking about that is like, okay, AI is going to be here, it's going to be fantastic, and it's going to allow me the freedom to explore the world, explore myself, understand who I am at a deeper level. That's the exciting part for me. I think I'm on that train with you. I really like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But with the beauty also comes like that little trepidation of, we're going to be able to do all those things, and we're going to use AI as an assistant, or as an augmentation to our weaknesses, wherever those might be. I guess I don't imagine. I mean, I kind of imagine a time when AI or robots will just do everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happens then? Yeah. You got 3 billion people in the world, 4 billion people in the world, whatever it is.
8.
Is it 8? I'm low.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't take that much effort to sort of understand. You cannot predict the future, but you can make educated guesses on what is going to happen by looking at history. So in the 1500s in Europe, there was a period called Renaissance period. And that was a period after the, Crusades and all of that, like when the dust settled. People were they had a lot of time, a lot of money. They're like, okay, what the hell are we going to do? So they started doing music, painting, poetry. And those were the kind of people who were at the top of society. They were the ministers and the highly paid officials in the king's courts. So when humans have more time and freedom, it doesn't mean the world stops. We just look for new avenues to express ourselves and find new things that we are curious about, exploring space, creating new ways of connecting with people that we haven't even seriously thought about yet. If you think about it, 90% of technology and business is all about connecting people. Yeah. That's basically it. We just want to connect with ourselves, with other. Why do you think we go to space and all that? We are wondering, hey, is there anybody else out there like us? We would like to connect with them or something like that, right?
Sure.
So it's all in a pursuit of connection. It's all in a pursuit of deeper understanding of the universe. And it's not like we are going to figure it out and say one day we're going to say, okay, nothing to do now. We just done. Like I figured out everything there is to figure out. And for example, I think there was a meme I saw a while back, very funny meme. It's like there was one guy who was addicted to internet, and his wife was not happy about it. And then I think one day he was just like surfing the internet, and after like 2 or 3 days, like he's like, wow, I'm done with the internet. Like I've done everything.
I've done everything on it I can.
Yeah. So imagine, like, is that possible? No, it's not possible. So so the idea is that as technology facilitates our exploration, we will find those ways to explore.
That's So even outside our own, outside our own galaxy or within our own galaxy, because we haven't really made it very far. We've made it to Mars. I think we've been on Mars since like the 70s or the 60s, right? It's like,
no, we've gone until Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Those were the two space they sent out, and I think 70s or 80s. So now they basically think one of them crossed the threshold of the solar system now.
Oh, is that right? That's like, how many light years is that?
Oh, no. Light years is, no, not light years. Light years will be...
Out of the galaxy?
Out of the galaxy.
They haven't found life though yet.
No, not yet.
We have an audio problem, huh? Is there an audio problem on your end?
Yeah, I think.
Can
you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds like it may have resolved itself.
Yeah.
So you went from making like $2 a week in a factory in India to taking a company where you have 4 patents and $500 million, or is it 500 million in revenue?
Not revenue, it's creation of value. Like, we have built new technologies, new startups. Cumulatively, their value has been much more than that. Mm-hmm. But conservatively, I will say 500 million we have generated over the last 30 years. This doesn't, by the way, go all in my pocket. Most of it goes in other people's pockets. So.
As it is, yeah. It's there was something I read, some write up or something. Was it like Microsoft, IBM, or something? Who's using your technology right now?
Yeah, Microsoft, IBM, T-Mobile, Pearson Education, a lot of large companies, but hundreds and hundreds of small to medium-sized companies as well.
That's fantastic. It's like from $2 a week.
$2 a day.
Or $2 a day. Oh, okay. It's much better.
yeah, that's much better. Like 5 times better.
It's 5 times better, but still only 2. When was that? Was that 70s, 80s?
No, that was like around late 80s to early 90s. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's so good, man. What do you and your colleagues talk about that like nobody else is talking about? Quiet concerns, maybe.
Yeah, I think these are the typical things where there is a saying that as humans we have access to 10% of our mind. The rest of the 90% is not accessible. Mm-hmm. So what we talk about is what will happen if we unlock that 90% for 8 billion people. Mind is a very powerful, it's a machine to think, but also it's a way to finding ourselves. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I was talking to a very accomplished surgeon, and he works with kids. So he says that, I work with a lot of kids, like they have, many of them have terminal diseases, and, I operate on them and I fix them physiologically. Yeah. But they go through such a big trauma, going through surgery and all of that. Many of them, they lose the will to live or get healthy. So the mind is like, you can do surgery and give medicine, but how do you fix the mind? Right. There's a lot of anxiety, stress. I mean, stress is the major reason of all kinds of diseases.
Yeah.
So how do you utilize the power of the mind? Like, we are all talking about, hey, you utilize the sun's energy or solar energy, wind energy. But what about the 90% of the mind energy that is just sitting there? How do we utilize that? That's what we talk about. That's what I talk about.
You guys just all sit around watching that Scarlett Johansson movie. I forget.
Yeah.
I forget what
Her or something.
the name of. I forget the name of that movie. She got control of 100% of her brain. She eventually became one with the universe or something. It was like, spoiler alert if you haven't. It's a movie's like 15 years old, but it's if you haven't seen it by now, it's a good movie. I'm talking to all the young guys out there. Scarlett Johansson, you can't go wrong, but it's a fascinating movie. It's if you had $10 million to build AI that solved one global crisis, no strings attached, what would you design?
We are already sort of, I told you, like I'm hinting towards that. We are already working on merging the subconscious mind. Like my background is again technology, but I'm fascinated with the subconscious mind. That is our 90% mind. So whatever we are doing, it will go into that. Like, how do we connect people? Like even in teams, even in organizations, if you think about it, all we are trying to do is logically connect people towards a common cause.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So when we do that, there are a lot of dynamics at play. There's jealousy, there is backstabbing, there is politics, there is all that nonsense that happens in coming in the way of actually getting things done.
Yeah.
So how do you use technology to flip that switch and bring people together? Like think about a soccer team. A soccer team has one goal, which is to score goals on the other side.
That's right.
Of on their opposite. They wear the same jersey. They go to they eat at the same place. They work with the same coaches. They are one. Even though there are like 15 or so players on a team, but they behave like one.
Yeah.
But can you say that about any other organization? Like a corporate team or your own small business team or your own mind, for heaven's sake?
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, one part of your mind says, I'm feeling lazy today. And another part says, I need to go make some money for family. Another part wants to just take off from this world and go to the mountains and just say, okay, don't bother me at all,
Yeah, you just outlined my whole morning. Like every morning, that's my brain.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a common phenomenon. Like and so imagine if you can coherently tap into that and say, okay, I know exactly what I'm here to do. I know exactly who I want to collaborate. I know exactly what they want from me and what I bring to the table. And no BS, no politics. You're just gonna get things done, and that's a beautiful life. And that's where I'm gonna put I'm already putting all my money into it. If there's 10 million more, I'm gonna put it in there.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a fantastic. I mean, I think that's right, because if you remove selfish ambition, if you remove fear and greed and politics and all these things from the equation, and and everybody's focused on a central goal, then you could move the world. Like there's nothing you can't achieve when you mentioned earlier about everybody's kind of getting a little part of the signal. I take my little part of the signal and I combine it with your little part of the signal and a million other people's parts of the signal, and we have like this unity that's
absolutely
right, where we can accomplish anything if we just get out of our own greedy way. And
absolutely, I will make a little tiny adjustment there. I think greed is good. I think personal ambition is good. But politics and jealousy and backstabbing and those things come because our logical mind is not able to align our goals with our team goals, with our organizational goals, with our community goals and national goals. But if there is a super intelligent companion each one of us has, it can guide us on everyday basis and say, this is how you align all your goals along with the other humans that you care about. And everybody gets exactly what they want. There is no more zero-sum game where we are fighting for the same resources. Yeah.
And maybe that's the upside of this of the AI revolution and what you're kind of building boats and bridges for and what you have been is that all of those platforms, everything you're building is going to be, their IQs are in the thousands and they're growing exponentially. And then they're going to connect like we would connect to solve to solve the world's problems, and they're going to solve the world's problems in a second. Assuming we have the power, the energy to fund it, right? We're at some point we're going to reach a bottleneck of energy where we have the computers and they're all very smart and they could accomplish great things, but we won't have the power to power them. Yeah. But let's say they do that. They're off seeking out the universe, and maybe we're on board that ship with them because they have the ability to keep us alive. And then we're freed up to just entertain whatever exploratory things we want to entertain. And then maybe that's what eliminates the greed or the selfishness or whatever else. Maybe it's like, we can't accomplish anything unless we do it together. The robots got all the hard stuff.
And then here is the interesting part. There could be another version of greed that humans have not even experienced so far yet. You understand? Yeah. Because the environment has not been there for us to experience something different, because it has been always a zero-sum game. But now if the environment around us changes, we may experience another form of selfishness or whatever that we don't even know yet.
Yeah. That seems to be the way of human nature.
Correct, exactly.
Take the great stuff and then figure out how to hoard it. Keep it for ourselves.
Hoard it, but see, we tend to label things, but the first and foremost thing we need to realize, the most powerful phenomena in this universe is evolution. Okay? So evolution doesn't care how things move forward. Greediness, selfishness, doesn't matter. I mean, that is part of the reason why we became the most dominant species. If we were so benevolent, so giving, he'll say, hey, tiger, you seem hungry. Okay, why don't you take my arm and just be satisfied?
Right? Take my arm. I would be satisfied. That's funny.
Exactly. And we are selfish, and we'll say, okay, I'm going to kill you before I freaking suffer an iota of inconvenience. I will kill you not only for today, but I want to rest for the next 10 days and not have to get up to feed myself. You see, that's part of evolution.
That's part of evolution. But you guys are building AI predicated based on the neuroscience that we have, right? That
correct.
This is how the human brain works. So we're building AI and programs to operate in a similar way.
Exactly.
So can we expect that if we build AI in our image, that eventually they're gonna become potentially selfish and greedy themselves?
So there is a difference here how I look at it. Okay, so think about a billiards or a snooker table, right? Mm-hmm. When you strike a ball, you typically strike the white ball which strikes the colored ball.
Yep.
The objective is not to dunk the white ball, the objective is to dunk the colored ball.
Yep.
So the white ball is an intermediate object.
Okay.
So AI is an intermediate object to create optimized life for humans, rather than it becoming an entity in itself.
I see. Yeah, so in your world, AI is always going to be somewhat dependent on humans.
Absolutely.
For its existence. And there won't ever become a time where it's untethered from us.
Tethered person can take control of a certain type of AI and try to do certain things. But at the end of the day, we have this notion that AI is its own entity or its own organism. That is where most people mistake this to be, because it's not another species. It's not a live organism. It's just an algorithm running on electricity. That's it.
Yeah. Tool.
Yeah.
It's kind of
all you need to do is plug it off, and then it's off.
Well, yeah, right now. right now, but I'd like to be in some of those dark, some of those rooms that you sit around with your friends and think about the future.
I'm telling you, I mean, this is coming directly. I mean, I interact with people from Anthropic, from OpenAI, from Microsoft, Google. I'm telling you because these are the things that we talk about, and truly that's what it is. Now, I can't say I know everything, what is going to happen in 50 years, 60 years, 100 years. Maybe there's going to be a fusion of human DNA with some sort of another entity or whatever. Like, who knows? I don't know.
Who knows, right?
But
yeah,
but as of today, what I know about technology, which I know quite a bit about, and what I know about humanity and consciousness, again, which I know quite a bit about.
Yeah.
This is what I'm presenting you, my opinion, and these are my true beliefs. But tomorrow, if I see new data, I'm happy to change my views.
Super. That is super exciting. I'm optimistic about it. I'm learning agentic AI. I'm learning how to get robots to do some of my more mundane tasks. I'm doing, I'm trying to learn, stay ahead of it as much as I can, but it is going super fast. It is, it's a full-time job almost, trying to just stay on top of what we're actually trying to extend our employable lifespan. Now, I'm fortunate I own my own business, but there are a lot of people who don't. So it's, you're trying to extend your employable lifespan by 5 or 10 years by learning technology. What do you see as being the future of business?
Business, I think, again, as I said, business has been, our economies have been shaped over centuries. And again, they are based on this principle of zero-sum game. And there's only so much resources to go around. But I think with AI, there's going to be almost unlimited wealth created. So there's not going to be a situation of zero-sum game. It will be more about, okay, what value do I want to create in the world? And a lot of the kind of greed and bad practices to gouge people and all that, I believe will start to kind of melt away because everybody will be able to get to their heart's content. Now, some people may say that, there's no depth to human greed, but I believe it's more about greed is all about proving ourselves to the world. And if there's a better way to prove ourselves to the world through expression, through creativity, I think people will do that more. So the business will change towards more emotional intelligence, empathy, learning about other people's needs and wants,
I hope you're right. Before I let you go, give one piece of advice for the young men who are listening to this podcast or who will listen to it in the future. What is the very next thing they should be doing or thinking about in regards to their futures?
I think first and foremost, really get good at communication, human communication. Okay, that skill will never go out of style, and it will actually become more and more valuable moving forward. So communication, develop emotional intelligence, empathy, travel the world, learn about culture, in the human culture, what is human species all about? Because everything else, honestly, is going to be a realm of the computer. So real world experiential wisdom will be invaluable.
Well, that is, and I think that is the heart difference between head knowledge and actual knowledge. You can read a book on how to do things, but until you actually go out and put it into practice, you don't really know.
Excellent.
So that's good advice, Manuj. I thank you so much for coming on here, man. I'm psyched to have met you, and I hope that we can have more talks like this in the future. It's really been fun. And a great pleasure to meet you, man. You have an encouraging story that's inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, no, these were great questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Manuj. Have a great day, and thanks for coming on again. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Absolutely.
If you enjoyed this show, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. For more information about Jake, log on to jakegiffin.com. and find him on all social media platforms. Until next time, peace and power be yours.